Hello everyone, this is Vasanth Kumar from ENH iSecure. First of all, thank you for joining the demo session. This blog is a hands-on demonstration where I will walk you through creating and configuring various connection types in Auth0. You will see the steps to set up database connections, passwordless connections, and social logins. This is the default getting started page displayed upon logging into your Auth0 tenant. Here you can explore various products and features, integrate your applications, authenticate users via multiple sources, manage user accounts and more. Now let's see how to create a database connection. Navigate to the authentication section and select database. To create a new database connection, click on create DB connection and provide a meaningful name such as United Kingdom users. Then click on create. This is the settings page for the database connection. If you want username as identity attribute for user identification, you can enable that option here and further configure the username length. After configuring the changes, click on save. However, in this case, I will leave it disabled. If you want to import users into Auth0 user store, you can enable that option here. Note that this feature becomes available when you are using your own database, such as an external or legacy database. You can also choose whether to display this connection on your application sign-up page by toggling the relevant setting. However, in this case, I will leave it disabled. Now let's move on to attributes. By default, the email address is enabled as the primary identifier and cannot be disabled or further configured. If you wish to use custom identity attributes such as phone number, first name or last name, you can include them in the customized login page code. As you can see here, the add attribute option is disabled because I am using the classic login experience for this use case. Under the branding section in universal login, I have enabled the classic login. This experience allows you to add custom attributes, offers greater design flexibility, and provides more granular control over the login flow. In contrast, the universal login experience is Auth0's recommended solution, offering high-level customization through the templates. To achieve deeper customization of the login flow, the classic login experience is preferred. Within the Login tab, you can configure additional attributes or features for the login page in the code editor. Next, by going to the database connection in the authentication section, let's explore the authentication methods. Authentication methods in a database connection primarily involves verifying the user's identifier such as email address, phone number or username and a password. By default, the password authentication method is enabled and cannot be disabled. You can configure a password policy to enforce stronger security requirements on your users' passwords. And also configure a passkey policy to ensure modern phishing resistant authentication options. Let's see how to configure password policies. Click on Configure. Password policies control the strength and the usage rules for user passwords. Password strength governs both the length and the complexity requirements for user passwords. You have the flexibility to adjust the strength slider to your preferred level and conveniently test password example. Password history enforces a restriction that prohibits users from reusing any passwords previously stored in their history. By enabling it, you can configure the retention count which supports remembering up to 24 of the user's past passwords. Password dictionary feature prevents users from selecting passwords that match any entries in a specified list of disallowed or common weak passwords. By enabling it, the list can be customized to include the additional values. Enabling the personal data restriction prevents users from creating passwords that include information from their profile like their name, email, or username. This helps make passwords stronger and reduces the chance of someone guessing them by using personal details. Then click on Save Changes. Let's go back to the authentication methods in the database connection. Before you can start configuring the passkey policies, you will need to enable the feature, but only after completing all the required prerequisites mentioned here. It's important to note that passkeys are only compatible with the built-in user database and require the universal login experience to function properly. Let's move on to the custom database tab. If you want to authenticate users using your own database, you can enable this option here. Then in the database action scripts section, you can write custom scripts to implement all user related functionalities. You have the option to build these scripts from scratch or to load an existing template script and modify it as needed. After making your changes, you can either save and test the script or simply save it for the later use. Here I don't want to use the custom database, so I am disabling it. Next, go to the application section. Select the applications you want to use with this database connection. For example, I am selecting Book Library Digital, Lab Web App and API Explorer application. Once you have completed all the configurations, you can test the connection by clicking on Try Connection. This is the default database connection in Auth0, commonly referred to as username password authentication. We have already seen how to create a database connection and enable it for an application. In a similar manner, I have set up 3 separate database connections like India users, Singapore users and United States users. These connections are all enabled for my single page application and I have integrated them into the custom login page code. Now let's explore how these database connections function. This is a simple single page application I built using HTML and JavaScript to demonstrate how user authentication can be integrated seamlessly. A single page application is a web application or website that dynamically updates and renders the content within a single HTML page without requiring full page reloads. Click on Login to access the custom login page I have implemented. To sign up, provide your details such as name, email, next password, confirm your password and select your country. Based on the selected country, user will be assigned to the corresponding country specific database. For additional security, multi-factor authentication is enabled. You can register MFA by downloading the Auth0 Guardian app, scanning the provider code and approving access within the app. During the sign-up process, you will also be prompted for the user consent. Once granted, you will gain the access to the application. This is the profile information page where user details are displayed. After logging out of the application, you can navigate to the user section in the Auth0 user management dashboard. There you will find the newly registered users such as Hardin Scott listed under the United Kingdom users database connection. Up to this point, we have explored how to configure and utilize the database connection within Auth0. Let's explore how to create a passwordless connection in Auth0. In the authentication section, click on passwordless. Passwordless connection is an authentication method that allows users to log in without using a traditional password. There are 2 different login methods in the passwordless connection, such as SMS and email. Now, to configure the SMS login method, click on Configure. This method enables users to authenticate by receiving a one-time password via SMS. To complete the SMS login configuration, you need to set up a service provider, also known as a phone provider. To do this, navigate to Branding and then select Phone Provider. If you prefer to use a custom phone provider, select the delivery methods such as text or voice and build your own provider configuration by writing the custom code in the code editor. Otherwise, you can use a third-party service like Twilio. Twilio is a cloud communication platform that provides APIs for developers to programmatically send and receive text messages, make and receive phone calls, and handle other communication functions. In the Twilio provider settings, select your preferred delivery method. If you opt to use the use from option, provide a phone number you have purchased from your Twilio account along with your Twilio SID and Auth token. Alternatively, if you choose to use a messaging service, provide the messaging service SID along with your Twilio SID and Twilio Auth token. To further configure the SMS login method, go to the passwordless under Authentication section. Click on Configure. You can change the settings such as OTP timestamp, OTP length, and also if you wish to disable this connection for the application signup page, you can enable that option here. After making the desired changes, click Save. Then select which application will use this SMS login method and test the connection by choosing the Try option. Since my phone provider settings are not currently configured, you can test the setup by entering a phone number. To configure the email login method, click on Configure. This method allows users to authenticate by receiving either a verification code or a magic link via email. By default, it uses the Auth0 email provider, but you can also set up a custom email provider by going to the email provider section under the branding tab. You can further configure the built-in Auth0 email provider settings such as sender email, subject, message content, OTP expiry, OTP length, and also disable sign-up options. After configuring, click Save. Select the applications that will use this email login method and test the connection by choosing the Try option. Let's explore how passwordless connection works with the classic experience. To sign up as a user, click on Continue with passwordless sign up. Enter your email address and click Send code. The user will then receive a one-time code via email. Once user enter the code, then click Verify code. After successfully signing into the application, users can access their profile information where their email is verified and educational books page also. Let's log out of the application and check the Auth0 user management dashboard under the users section. The user will appear under the email connection. This demonstrates how the passwordless connection works and how the user is authenticated within the Auth0 tenant. Let's explore how to create a social connection in Auth0. In the Authentication section, click on Social. Social connections allow users to log in using their existing accounts from social identity providers like Google, GitHub, LinkedIn, and many others. To create a social connection, click on Create Connection. Auth0 supports integration with about 74 such external identity providers. You can also create a custom social connection if your provider is not listed by selecting the Create Custom option. To create a LinkedIn social connection, select LinkedIn from the list. Click on Continue. You will need to enter your LinkedIn API key and secret key which you obtain by registering your application on the LinkedIn developer portal while using the production environment. Strategy version, where it is a version of Auth or authentication strategy, here I am leaving it as default. Make sure to select the email address as an identity attribute to retrieve the user's email. Additional scopes are used to request extra permissions beyond basic profile access. Click on Create. Next, enable this LinkedIn connection for the applications you want to use. You can now test the connection by clicking Try Connection option. I have created and enabled these three social connections for my single page application. I have also integrated and configured these social connections in my custom login page code. Let's see how it works with the LinkedIn connection. This is the custom login page I built using classic login experience within Auth0. When a user clicks on LinkedIn icon, they will be redirected to the LinkedIn Identity Provider's sign-up page. Here, the user can enter their LinkedIn credentials such as email or phone number along with a password to authenticate. Once authenticated, the user will be registered and managed through Auth0. After successful registration, users can access application pages such as About and Profile Information, where the user information can be seen under the Profile Information page. Let's log out from the application and verify the newly created user in the User section of the Auth0 User Management dashboard. The user is listed under the LinkedIn connection in the Auth0 User Store. This demonstrates how the social connection functions within Auth0. In this session, we explore how each connection works in Auth0. Each connection offers unique capabilities tailored to different authentication needs, such as database connections for traditional credential-based login and passwordless connections for seamless access via email or SMS, and social connections for quick sign-ins using popular platforms by empowering the developers to build secure and flexible login experiences using Auth0. Thank you for being a part of this session. That brings our session to an end, and I hope you found it both informative and interesting.